All right. Ṣé mo yin ní stamina báyìí? Àti sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ fún yín ní ojú. Ẹ jẹ́ fún yín ní ojú. Knock, knock, knock. Who is up? Lipstick ti yí mi lẹ́yìn again. Knock, knock, knock. Aku gbẹ́ngbẹ́lẹ̀. What is gbẹ́ngbẹ́lẹ̀? Gist Me TV, I'm fine, jèrè. Ayọ̀bá mi ṣe. Twile everybody. Ọlọ́pàá abeg sir. Gẹ́gẹ́gẹ́ abeg sir. Ọlọ́pàá abeg sir. Gẹ́gẹ́gẹ́. Ẹ jẹ́ n pa yín lẹ́rìn. Aunty ní kẹ́ka sàn jèrè. When I was younger, as a young girl, if my mother wants to abuse me in those days, she used this my eyes. She used to use my eyes to abuse me. You know Yoruba mothers. Olójú náà gàndàn bí ojú ìgbín. I will start crying. I never knew having big eyes. Glasses gan ti jẹ́ kó kéré. I used to have big eyeballs. Here, bulgy, àbí bulky. My mother will say, olójú náà gàndàn bí ojú ìgbín. Thank you, Ọmọ́wùmí. Baba Ọlọ́lá T.O., how are you? Tìmẹ́yìn, how are you? G on YouTube. Nah. Ẹ̀yin ti TikTok, how na dey? Ẹ̀yin tèmi lórí Facebook, how na dey? Mo kú àjẹ àìfún èèyàn jẹ. Kí ni mo jẹ? Bread àtẹ̀wà ni mo jẹ láàárọ̀ yìí. Tí ẹ̀gan ni mi tí mú tán. Ẹ rí pé kọ́ọ̀pù ńlá ni mo ń lò fún tí ń sìn. Kọ́ọ̀pù ọmọ mi. Ó ra kọ́ọ̀pù ńlá, mo ní èmi ní máa jogún kọ́ọ̀pù yìí. Ẹ mu tea, na me dey drink tea pass for this house. Na so I carry the cup. This one will make like three small mug. You want to drink Lipton tea? That is what I chop. I no chop anything. Godwin Ben, Lolly Temi, Ṣẹ́wà Payemi. Ẹ̀yin wo lẹ wà lórí TikTok? Thinking Talky. Olúwèké, thank you. The star lẹ fi wọlé. Olúwèké tèmi nìkan ṣoṣo na star you take enter. Where is Bombay person? In those days when my mama abused me with this my eyes, na so I go dey cry. So when I come meet my late husband, the man come tell me say he like my eyeballs. I say the eyeballs wey my mama dey abuse. He say the eyeballs is very fine. It's very sexy. I say it's sexy. The man say yes. You have a sexy eyeballs. I say I didn't know say I get sexy eyeballs. Oh. Who send you come the size? It's a very big mug. He say it's a very sexy eyes. He said there is a way you roll the eyes. They always tickle me. I say, really? Oh, Bublalo. How are you? Dara ni jọdún wọn. Ṣé wàá pa? Thank you, Bashir Femi Umar. Thank you, sir. Baba Salah size. Aboki Alaji. My mug is Gorodom. It's a Gorodom size, very big. Why am I not CP? Uncle Roland, how are you, Jere? I want to say, I know, now my Yoruba accent, I won't take do my show today. Yoruba accent. So, just follow me. So that, because I don't know what I do Facebook. Facebook, it don't cut my video well. It cut my views. I don't know what they go on. Facebook, na amroba. Na only. Monkey dey walk, baboon dey chop. Uncle Roland, yes, na Ibile accents. Yoruba accents, my accent go. I want to take talk because I am a complete, proudly Yoruba woman. This woman with Yoruba accent. Love of God is my strength. We see things differently. I didn't speak bad about what happened in Ibadan. I said the organizer did a bad job, and I stand on it. In a sane country, we are talking about children, okay? Anything about children, they trigger me. Anything that got to do with children triggers me a lot. You are doing something for children. Who calls 5,000 children? Don't let us start to. I don't pack that one, put for one side. Who gathers 5,000 children for party without putting safeguarding in place? It is not the duty of the government. It is the duty of the person that say, I want to call 5,000 children to come and do party, to make sure everything is in place. She is the one that wants to do it. No topic, Igere. Now weekend vibe. Parenting. We're actually talking about parenting. People say we should be talking about parenting. You say 5,000 is only. 5,000 children is only. Love of God. No, don't divert my attention this morning, please. Don't divert my attention. It seems you don't know what 5,000 is. We are not talking of 500. We are not talking of 100. 5,000. Minor. 0 to 13. And you make it open invitation. You say one parent can even bring 50 children. Is there. The video evidence is outside here. Don't start, oh. Don't just start that one, please. So we are talking parenting, Gere. Kenny, how are you? All of you on TikTok, I agree to now. I cannot follow what you want all the time, okay? There are times I will not go your way. You can't change my mind on the way I see things. I will respect the way you see it too. Bemi sheri ni mo she so yen. Aha. Am I distracting me, please? This is how you will not let somebody say, "Hey, Nige Kinfi, can I join the live show?" Yes, please join. We are talking parenting. So it's what that affects every one of us. You know, we agree we will be doing parenting shows once in a while. And I think Saturday will be very ideal for me to Saturday will be very ideal for us to do it. Okay? So that's why I've chosen today. Flaky. Oh, má bínú ìyá mi. Má bínú. Ṣàlàáfíà ni. Ṣùgbọ́n mo rí ẹ mi ò mọ̀ ọ́fíìsì nu o mo rí ẹ bí tó ti ń bú mi tó lọ rẹ́rìn ńbẹ̀. And that will be the second time. Èmi ò like àbòsí. Wọn ò lè bú ẹ ńbì kan kí n lọ síbẹ̀ kí n lọ máa rẹ́rìn. Mo rí comment ẹ. Ẹ̀yin alábòsí, mi mọ̀ bóyá bòsí ni kí n pe o. Bóyá show yẹn ló dùn mú ẹ o tó wà carried away o. Tẹ́mi bá rí pọ́n bú àwọn blogger ńbì kan mi ò ń dá sí. Àwọn bloggers kan dẹ̀ wà lórí social media, wọn ò ní content. Bí kan gbéyàn hánu, kan máa jà ní tiwọn. Nǹkan tẹ́mi dẹ̀ bá wá kọ́ sórí social media kan nìyẹn. I saw you there. Èmi ò mọ̀ kó mi ò mọ̀rọ̀ pa. Anyway, good evening everybody, good morning, good afternoon. It all depends on the time. Níbi tẹ́ bá ti ń wò mí. My name is Real Talk with Aunty Aduni. The name of my page is Real Talk with Aunty Aduni. My own name is Aunty Aduni. My name is Aduni. I should bring you up. Oh yeah, I bring you up. Okay, àwọn méjì gan-an ti ní kí n bring àwọn up. Who is the second person? Oh yeah. Unable to add guest, okay. Mo ti bring her up. Tí n bá rí ẹ máa fún ẹ ní ẹgbàá.
No. Ẹ mọ̀ pé tí n bá rí nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ sọ mo ní wá sókè mo dẹ̀ ní easy láti máa comment. Chat ẹni yẹn ti ń ṣe chat yẹn lọ. Kó tó débi tó ti ń sọ pa yín lèmi ti comment ẹ wò. Èmi mo ṣe gbọ́ pé ó ń attack àwọn especially ẹ̀yin. Má
dárúkọ ẹ̀ bí o. Èmi kọ́ ni máa fẹ́ ni attention o.
Ọlọ́rọ̀ mi tó sọ tó.
Show tí mo lọ dá lóhùn ó ní 21,000 views. Ìgbà tí mi ti dá lóhùn mọ́ views ẹ ti padà sí 1,000.
Èmi ò mọ̀ mo kàn dáhùn ẹ mọ̀ kí ọkọ̀ bá nǹkan pàdé ọwọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ kan mo wá rẹ́rìn. Bí mo ṣe gbọ́ pé à ń dá bó ṣe porúkọ yìí mo kú òǹbẹ̀ mi dédé bọ́ kọ́mẹ́ǹtì mi.
Okay. Mo ní flaky of all people.
Torí pé màá ti ọ̀rẹ́
mi ní flaky of all people. Ìrẹ́kọ́ ọmọ ló jẹ́ sí mi. Mo ní flaky of all people.
Mo yẹ kẹ́ lè jẹ́rìí yẹn láíláí. láíláí.
Èmi ò dẹ̀ mọ̀ nǹkan fi sínú, mi ìmọ̀ yàn fi sínú.
Bí mo ò lè jìnnà ti lọ jìnnà.
Okay.
Mo lè ṣèyàn tí mò ń follow tí mo fẹ́ padà lọ delete gbàtọ́kọ̀ tèmi dẹ̀ clean mo lè máa wẹ́ ni ẹ lọ padà lọ máa delete comment.
Torí orí social media yìí jẹ́jẹ́ mi ni mo máa ń lọ.
No,
any trendy something, I will say it the way I see it. I will say it the way I see it and I move on. Tèmi nìyẹn.
Jẹ́ kí n sọ̀rọ̀. Ọba tó ọmọ tó gbà tó fi sọ ikọ̀ ọmọ kan tó ń wọ ìlú kan tó fẹ́ yàwó púpọ̀ wọn lè tó bẹ̀lẹ̀ mi ti rẹ́rìn.
Okay.
Mo ti wá gbọ́ pé wọ́n sọ pa Naomi kankan wọn kan gbà tó sọ pé àti Madam TNT.
Mo ní kó má dárúkọ blogger lórí page mi. Mo ní rules. I have my rules.
Mo láíláí tí mo fẹ́ máa lọ rẹ́rìn fún. No.
Page kan wò wá. Ẹ má sọ òyìnbó. Page kan wò wá. Ilé ńlá. Ẹ má sọ òyìnbó. Ṣó mọ̀ pé téèyàn bá ń ṣe show, ojú ìwé a máa sọ fún ẹ pé lágbájá ń wò, lágbájá ń lò. Ilé ńlá ń wò wá bí ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Mo rí ilé ńlá.
Ó lè kọjá lára yín.
Mo rí wọn bẹ̀. Wọ́n yìí wà ń bẹ̀ wọn ò tí ì lọ. Ṣé ti rí?
Kò kí ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ròyìn ẹ̀ kò lè rí bẹ́ẹ̀ láíláí. Mo ṣe gbọ́rọ̀ yẹn báyìí ni mo bọ́ tàbọ̀ èmi ti rẹ́rìn síwájú kó tó máa sọ̀rọ̀. Ṣé má bínú.
Gbogbo yín lórí mi ò bínú díà. Tí n bá ń bínú mi ò ní sọ̀rọ̀.
Ọjọ́ àwọn alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ wà níbí kọ́wọ́ TikTok tó dé.
Má bínú. Tí n bá ń bínú mi ò ní sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ má bínú o, àmọ́ aṣọ mi ìsòyìnbó for now o. Wọ́n yìí wà ń bí wọn ò tí ì lọ o.
Yorùbá ni mí o.
Ilé ńlá wà ń bí ni mo rí wọn ni. Àwọn tí wọ́n wà nílùú ìran wọn mọ̀ nǹkan tí mò ń sọ.
Okay, bóyá torí pé mi jẹ́ first time ma.
Mo rí wọn sìn, ẹ káàsán.
Yes ma, ẹ káàsán.
Anyway, nǹkan tá fẹ́ sọ, a lè sọ̀rọ̀ wa. We are talking on parenting. We are talking on children. Parenting, that's what we want to discuss.
Okay ma. Mo kàn wish láti join live program mi lè lè.
Okay, kí lẹ ní fún wa? You want to tell us something or you have something for us? Kò yé yín, mi ò lè sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ilé ńlá ni ó ti yé àwọn tó ń gbèlú yìí. Ilé ńlá.
Ó kàn ní kí n kàn sí hello sí lónìí.
Okay, all right. Anyway, guys, good afternoon and welcome. So we are talking about parenting, how we can be better parents. Oyinbo Koro. How we can be better parents, due to popular demand. People have been saying, Auntie, let us be talking on parenting on this your show. And I think it is worth talking about for real. And, I would want people to be joining. I wouldn't want to be doing it all alone. What is ilé ńlá? Jọ̀ọ́ báwo mo ṣe lè sọ ilé ńlá lóyìnbó táwọn tán ní nǹkan ò ní mọ̀ páwọn ni mò ń sọ. Àwọn wo ni ilé ńlá? Ọmọláyọ̀ Dúrótoyè on YouTube. You get it kind of. You understand? That is, I don't know how to say it better. Mi ìwà mọ̀ bóyá ti lọ o, but mo rí wọn. Facebook máa sọ fún yín pé lágbájá is watching, lágbájá kìíní kan is watching. Mo rí wọn. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Ọlánìpẹ̀kún sẹ́ big house náà ni big brother kìíní kan. Big house, èèyàn kan náà ní big house. So you guys are welcome. They will not cover you. Èmi ò tiẹ̀ ní cover kan tó fẹ́ cover mi. Èmi ò ní cover. So bọ̀kan tó kàn wá wò ni ò tí wá yé mi. Kò yé mi o, mi mọ̀kan tó ń wá kiri o, mi mọ̀kan tó sọnù o. Anyway, let's talk on parenting. How we can be better parents. Who is a parent? Who is a parent? A parent is somebody that is an adult, a responsible adult, that is supposed to be either a mother or father to a child or to children. The child can be yours. The child can be adopted. The child can be somebody else's child under your custody. And once you take responsibility you decide to be a parent, there are so many things that are expected of you. Being a parent is not that I just want to have pikin. It goes far, far more than that. The day you decide to be a parent, you are saying you will be under while you put them up. They will be the priority. So that is why I look at people who are not ripe for parenting, having children, who are not yet there having children. You no get money to chop, you dey go have pikin. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Ṣọ́n flag wa ni? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ lórí Facebook? A máa ṣe nǹkan o. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ lórí Facebook? Ẹ bá mi love and like, ẹ bá mi share. Ẹ wo wàhálà Facebook yìí fẹ́ sún mi o. Tó bá dé stage kan máa takú sórí YouTube o àti TikTok. Bóyá for some time, bóyá page yẹn á lè reset padà. Something is going on this my page. I don't know what it is. Mi ò dẹ̀ ní violation. Ó ti já, it was more than that. We were almost 300 at a point. We are almost 300. TikTok is worst. Ẹ máa dúró sórí YouTube ń gbà yẹn lè wá pa mí. Somebody just told me TikTok is worst. Anyway, so being a parent, you are saying somebody is high, you will stay down to give that person a better life. And like I said, no volume care. No volume. Egbo, no volume on Facebook. Go off and come back. They can check, you know. Facebook, wala Facebook. From trying down to give that person a better life. And like I said, no volume care. Yeah, it's volume. Flaky, there is volume here. Check your phone. No volume. Egbo, no volume on Facebook. Check your phone, Flaky. Come back. So, like I was saying, the day you decide to be a parent, you are no more living for you. The day you decide to be a parent, you are not living for you. You are living for that child and those children. It all depends on how many is in your care. And like I said, they may not be your biological children. They may be children you have adopted. They may be children of somebody say, come on, you might go there. That means you are responsible for that child. And until use Yoruba first, then switch later. Is there a reason, aproko? Lo number mi tí mi ò kí fi ṣe show yẹn kó fi ṣe ṣàlàyé fún mi. Is there any reason to fi ní kí n lo for me to go kí n ṣe Yorùbá náà? Ṣé show yìí máa ṣe báyìí tí distraction ti kù? Mi ì dẹ̀ fẹ́ máa waste time mo ṣe tètè bẹ̀rẹ̀ o. Facebook is breaking. Ẹ jẹ́ ká manage ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Since you promised to talk about Funke, kò ń ṣe Funke àṣekún o. Funke Jobele. Not today, I will do it tomorrow. Kini parenting yẹn náà mo fẹ́ ká máa ṣe. I don't want us to be talking ọ̀rọ̀ pastor àti sọ ẹni tó bá fẹ́ gbọ́n agbọ́n. So there are so many other things that we can treat that will be better for us, that we can younger ones will benefit from, instead of ọ̀rọ̀ pastor ẹni tó bá wù kó fàyè ẹ̀sìn pastor problem wọn nìyẹn. Okay, so irú ọ̀la ń sìn we can do that. Not Funke àṣekún, Funke Jobele ni. So like I was saying, the day you decide to start having children, you have become a parent and you are responsible to that child. Once you become responsible to that child, a lot is expected of you. Now, apart from the financial responsibility, financial strength you need emotional strength, which we all can attest to. You need emotional strength. This is where you don't compromise your emotions, either as a mother or as a father. As a mother, let me talk from the angle of a mother because I am a woman, and I will allow people to join me on the show to talk and give their own opinion too when it is time. As a mother, for example, you decide you have children and your emotions is in trouble, like you allow something to trouble your emotions more than necessary. If care is not taken, it will affect your children. How will it affect them? An unstable mother can be abusive. An unstable mother will not reason well. An unstable mother will not know when their children are going through stuff. Those are just few examples. So if you are a parent and a woman and you are your emotions, this is where a woman, especially I will talk on mothers because mothers are more guilty of this thing. If you look at abusers of children, they are more of mothers than fathers. I'm not talking about the other kind of abuse. I'm talking about physical and emotional trauma that children go to. It comes from mothers more than fathers. Why? Because mothers that do not have their emotions in place, they tend to abuse their children. They vent their frustration, their pains, their failure, and whatever they go through, they vent it on the children because that is the people they see around. That is the vulnerable people they can pour it on. It's like a woman that is having problem with the husband. Because the husband is kind of abusive on her, she cannot face the husband. She cannot really vent it on the husband. The children are the most vulnerable and the closest she can vent it on. Before you know it, any little thing, ìgbámú ìgbájú ló máa fi bá ọmọ yẹn sọ̀rọ̀. And that is why I said, àwọn ọmọ, they face more of abuse, physical, emotional, verbal, from mothers than fathers. Ibẹ̀, it is even from there ni sibling rivalry náà ti máa ń wọlé. It's from there that a child, girl children especially, tí mi máa fi tètè lọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ relationship ní before time. It is from there most girl children become vulnerable to men too, and they will still be young. This is why ẹni tó bá ní ọmọ lọ́wọ́, you cannot afford to let your emotions be messed up. Parenting is not about money. It's not about owó nìkan. Your emotions has to be okay to some extent. Your mental state is very important. Let us look at it from when you just give birth to a child, a newborn. If the mother of that newborn is not okay, as young as that newborn is, that newborn will know. If you look at newborn, when you are feeding them as a mother, they will be looking into your eyes. They will be looking into your eyes. Facebook is breaking. Kí la máa ṣe báyìí? Do you want me to go and start again? I have seen some people from Facebook on YouTube, so that means something is actually wrong. Do you want us to stop and start again? On YouTube, on Facebook. Somebody have said it on YouTube, where Facebook won't break low. So, okay, let me stop and start again. No, on Facebook, you can't say I should start. You go ahead. Let me restart. Don't let us be selfish, please. So I will just use that as part 1, then use the other one as part 2. Orí Facebook ó gbálẹ̀ gan lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta tí wọ́n ṣe kékeré. Wọ́n show me ṣége. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, ó lè ní Facebook. Ó lè burúkú. Hopefully this will be better. Okay. Ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. So, tá bá gbé ọmọ kékeré dání, newborn, when we are giving them, we are feeding them, you see them looking into our eyes. Apart from bonding, they are watching, they are looking at us if everything is okay. But we think they are babies, they don't know much. They do. Now, when they start growing up, they start knowing what is going on. They see mommy today, she's crying. Or daddy is always shouting in the house. Either we like it or not. Either we want to accept it or not. It's affecting them. A house where all the children are hearing is a reward all the time. The kind of noise they hear affects their development. If it is joyful noise, it will affect their development positively. If it is a sad noise, fight noise, causes noise, it will affect them negatively. Either they understand what you are saying or they don't understand. They can feel if something is negative power or positive power. Sometimes parents get carried away, and when they are talking, they feel they don't know the meaning of the words we are saying. We always forget that they can read our appearance. And I will give you an example. Our children, as young as they are, they can read us. Even when we can't read ourselves. When we think we have maxed it, they are reading us. You know why? They are our children. They wake up and sleep with us. They know us better than outsider. There was a time, let me give you this example. That was my early days of being a widow. I think about 2 years, going to 2 years. After a year plus, going to 2 years. When I dressed then, I was still wearing, no, going to a year plus, not 2 years. I was still wearing dark Ankara. After the incident, I went to buy a lot of dark Ankara, and I made them to be wearing, because they told me I should not wear something bright. So I went to buy a lot of dark Ankara, and I was not using makeup. Then the proprietor of my children's school called me one day and said, if I see you come to pick these children without looking good again, I will fight you. Boya auntie no ma wo show me. Those are the people that stood by me in my early days. If I see you come to this school where you come to pick your children and you don't look good, wherever that man is, he's not happy the way you are looking. If I see you looking like that, I will fight you. So there was this day, I summoned the courage to decide to dress well. I was still wearing one of the dark Ankara. Then I applied light makeup on my face. Of course, my face became brightened up. I went to pick my daughter. She was just 5 going to 6 then. Immediately she saw me. Quinta, how are you? Happy New Year. Immediately she saw me. She ran to me and jumped on me and grabbed me. He said, Mommy, you are looking so beautiful. I was like, I look beautiful. She said, yes, Mommy, you look beautiful. You look fine today. And I started crying. I said, wow. So this girl noticed something was wrong with me. That is how our children are looking at us without us knowing. When you cry inside the room, after crying inside the room, you wash your face, you come out, you want to pretend that everything is okay. Your children know that you have cried. They may not ask you. They may not talk. They know. And once they know you have cried, if you are a watchful parent, if you are a parent that is observant, if you are not, if you have young children, it is young people, young parents I'm talking to now. We are what our stage, my mates are what is shame, what I shame. Many today made mistake because of Timbo. Many children today is not because they want to turn bad. It is because of the home they grew up in, the environment, the parents, the kind of what is going on in their homes. Lo someone di nkan ton da. And many parents are crying tí wọn ò lè sọ nǹkan tójú wọn rí níta. I spoke with somebody, I won't go into details. Something happened to that person's child. She's a grown-up girl now. She's about 20-something. Nǹkan kan ti ṣẹlẹ̀ tí mi ò lè sọ pé kò látúnṣe, kò sí nǹkan tí ò lè látúnṣe. I won't say pé kò lè látúnṣe, kò sí nǹkan tí àrírú eléyìí rí, kò sí nǹkan tí ò lè látúnṣe. And we started discussing. I said, when she was telling me what was going on, I said, you must have done something that led this child to this place. She said, I've been a loving parent, I've been this, I've been that, I tried my best. I said, no, something has gone wrong somewhere while she was young. I said, at so stage of her life, where were you? When she mentioned it, I said, okay. Sometimes we run away from our responsibility. We forget, not as if we run away. There are some steps we will take, all in the name of, I am trying to make things better. And at the end of the day, it will boomerang. It was that scenario this mother find herself. And a boomerang on what the child has become today. And when we traced everything, it actually started when she was the child was very, very young. So the decision the girl made is something that Emma Diallo deeper into it. Parenting, if it is 2 children, lágbára ẹ̀ka, have those 2 children. And I want you to know, whatever is happening to you, those children are looking at you. Your emotions will give them the kind of emotions. It is like a conduit pipe. You are like a conduit pipe to your children. The energy you carry, you will transfer it to them. If you carry the kind of energy, a sleeping energy, it will transfer to them. If you carry energy of fire, it will transfer. If you carry energy of water, it will transfer. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Your energy goes a long way. So if you now think you can mask what is going on, you are not masking anything. No. Your children are seeing it. They are looking. They are watching. And indirectly, it is forming who they are going to become. It is forming how they will see lives. Emily, how are you? It is forming how they will see life too. Because I just look at parents. You have children at home. You say because they are minor. You say they are very young. They don't understand. You will speak Yoruba. Somebody said, I know a mother who encourages her children to insult their father. It's coming back. There is nothing we sow into these children's life that is not coming back to us, one way or the other. And I pray she lives long to experience what she's sowing. I just wonder when parents think what they are doing, their children do not understand. Because they are minor. They don't understand what is going on. They don't understand what we are saying. If they don't understand what you are saying, they understand your countenance, which cannot be masked. They understand the way the attitude you will put up immediately after you do your boss. They will understand that something has gone wrong. And because we focus on ourselves, you come out, you think you have pretended. You think you have packaged it. When they are being affected, you will not notice. You will not notice. If you are observant, whatever happens to you, either negatively or positively, especially when your children are still very young, is affecting those children, no matter how young they are. And all these things is in stages. A child of 0 to 2 may not really know what is going on that much. But by the time a child is getting to 3, they are already knowing everything. They are already noticing. Something is not going right. Something is happening in that home between you or as a couple. Or even if you are a single mother taking care of that child alone. As 3-year-old, your child is knowing something is not right with you. At that stage, they are noticing something is going on with mommy. Something is going on with daddy. A smart child, they will come to you and say, Daddy, everything is okay with you. You will say, those are the outspoken children. No matter our children, we will have 1 or 2 of them that are very outspoken. And they will come to you and say, Mommy, is everything okay with you? Daddy, are you okay? Are you sure you are okay? And you will want to take it as a joke. A child that comes to you and say, Daddy, is everything okay? A child that will come to you and say, Mommy, is everything okay with you? The younger ones don't bá sọ̀rọ̀ is because they cannot express nǹkan tó rí. Younger ones, where before 3, they cannot really speak. They have seen, but they don't know how to express it or ask you that question. But once a child can ask, and that child is a smart child, they will ask you, is everything okay? Mommy, are you okay? You will start doing like this, doing your face like this, turn your face. When the child start doing like this, Mommy, are you okay? Are you okay? Mommy, are you okay? Are you fine? Are you fine? Are you fine? Oh, go ahead and join. Go send request. Once they start doing that, yẹn ti ń rí nǹkan kan pẹ̀lú ẹ. And if you are not careful, it's affecting that child emotionally already. Psychologically, it's affecting that child. It is building something into that child's mind. The child will start living in fear. This child will start living somehow in panic that something is wrong with my mother, something is wrong with my father. And that child start withdrawing gradually without you knowing. You're welcome, Aproko.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, man.
Thanks for joining us. You have something to say before I go ahead?
Yes. Okay, let me say something. I was picking up from where you were saying little children. Is it okay if I put a little bit of professional lens to that?
Go ahead, please. Yeah, please.
Okay. You see, children age 0, they pick up stuff, and as a matter of fact, information can be extracted from children as young as age 0. Now, how can we
by
do
professionals,
that?
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it can be extracted. Even as a mom, as a pregnant mom, if a pregnant mom is going through maybe rough emotions, say there is, for instance, maybe the case of domestic abuse, the baby kicks more than normal in the tummy.
In the tummy during pregnancy.
More than normal in the tummy during pregnancy.
If the mother is going through domestic abuse, okay,
or any form of usually with domestic abuse, it's very easy to pick that up. Or maybe the mom is someone who is going through any form of abuse, because
trauma.
Any form of
Trauma.
That child kicks more. And even interestingly, when a baby is born, a baby that so we have what we call the secure attachment. So when a baby is born, the easiest way that we know that there's something not right, ideally, a baby should always feel soothed by the caregiver, which is ideally to be mom and dad.
The mom and dad, yeah.
Yes, because remember, as a mother carrying a pregnancy, the baby already recognizes the voice of
during pregnancy, yes.
And the baby also recognizes the voice of that other secured person. Most times dad. Okay? Now, when a baby is born, ideally, even if a stranger carries a baby, and parents, especially maybe mothers, some children come back, and when they give birth to these children, you find that the children, maybe they are ruffled, they will cry, but the moment you hand them over to their mother,
they stop crying.
Dad, they stop crying. But if a baby is maybe the baby is being overly okay or soothed by a stranger, that tells a lot, because the most secured person that baby should feel comfortable with is mom and dad. No matter whatever it is, they will always recognize the voice of mom and dad. And their eyes, even if they, of course, they can't talk at that time, but they use their eyes to follow
to communicate.
Mom. Yes, they use their eyes to follow their mom. And sometimes, like, for instance, a baby that jerks often, that jerks often, maybe when the door is slammed or noise goes, naturally, a baby would naturally jerk when there's noise. But if you notice a child who jerks constantly when there is noise, there's something all right. So, on the professional angle, when we go into a family where there's something around, maybe domestic abuse, or maybe there's something going on
in the home.
The first person that gives us that clue is that baby.
Wow. How?
First person. So, okay, let me give you an example.
When you are talking about the baby now, you are talking of a baby of what age?
A baby.
As in 0 to something.
Yes, like even a baby as young as a week old.
Okay.
That baby is the one that gives us the clue
that something is going on in that home.
Yes. So how does it happen? So let me give an example, if you don't mind.
Oh, please go ahead.
So
you are talking from a professional angle, so I'm going to let you talk. I am talking from my own practical knowledge, which is different from the professional one. So go ahead, please. So for people in diaspora, this might help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for instance, even those in Nigeria,
Yeah.
learn from it as well. So, for
Show
instance,
when Nigeria, one condone abuse and everything, and they applaud it. So case it was a different case.
Yeah.
Autolaye one. Go ahead, my
Yes.
sister.
So, for instance, I remember there was a particular case I did, and mom and dad, in short, they didn't. There was no obvious domestic abuse at the time.
Is a woman, not a girl, not a man. The person talking is a woman. Go ahead.
So, the reality is, at that particular case, there was no obvious domestic abuse. There was no obvious form of abuse that was out there. However, when this baby was born, so mom was pregnant, and so I'm talking in the context of UK. So mom was pregnant, and mom had, of course, when a woman is pregnant in the UK, the mom is assigned a midwife, and that also applies in most other Western country. So mom was assigned a midwife. Now, what the midwife observed very quickly was when mom is by herself, the baby is calm. But the moment dad steps into the space and dad starts talking, that baby is constantly kicking, like proper kicking.
Wow.
Okay? So, but it's, I suppose being a professional, it gives you curiosity. This baby is
Ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú kọ́ọ̀lù sọnù yín. Go ahead, JD.
So the baby, as someone who is not a professional, we almost see it as normal, okay? However, so the midwife obviously became very, they started observing. And what they did was they started recording the amount of kicks that baby have while during visits or during engagement with mom. Now, it was noticed that when mom is by herself, that baby feels safe. The baby kicks less. It kicks, but kicks less. But when that comes
around.
Yeah, when that comes into the picture and that starts talking, that baby then begins to like proper kick. So that obviously raised curiosity. So what then happened? Of course, there was nothing to evidence because there was no physical
evidence.
Okay, and mom and dad's relationship on the surface appeared to be very loving. So over time, when the baby was born, of course there was because it's the UK system, the midwife, she got in touch with the child protection team just to express
the concern,
what she's noticed or observation. But however, because there's no evidence to back up what she's saying, what then happened was, obviously there was, we call it the interagency risk assessment. So what we then had to do was, yes, that information was shared, but there's nothing that could be done. All that needed to be done was just observe until when the baby is born. And very quickly, as soon as the baby was born, the midwife naturally would go into the property. So the midwife would befriend mom for the first 2 weeks and then introduce the health visitor, which is the health staff the nurse that would look after the baby until the baby is 5 years old. And very quickly, when the baby was born, just within a week, the moment the midwife steps into the property, that baby cries, right? And of course, with mom, the baby is soothed. But the moment dad steps in, that baby starts crying like uncontrollable.
That's a sign something is wrong.
Yes, so mom would hold the baby. Now, when the midwife realized that when she's stepping out of that property, the baby is crying, basically indirectly saying, don't go.
Yeah.
Protect my mom. Okay? So the baby will cry like non-stop so long as dad is in that property.
Wow.
And that continued. And then what the midwife started doing was, ideally, a midwife would only come in to look at, to check on the baby, to only check maybe like once a week. They don't have to be there every day. But they notice that every day when they go there, they observe exact same thing. The only time the baby doesn't cry when the midwife is leaving is when dad is not in the property. So much so, of course, at some point, the police came in and I can't remember whatever happened in the property. So police came. No, there was noise and neighbors reported. So police came, and interestingly, this baby was screaming his head off. The moment the moment police stepped into that property, the baby went quiet. Very quiet.
That is more like protect my mom.
Yes. So of course, because it's a specialist police, so what they then did was, of course, they calmed everything down, but they then came back to speak to mom. They observed when dad left the property and came back to speak to mom. Of course, just like any other thing with domestic violence, mom wasn't willing to say what was going on. But the baby was giving us a lead.
The clue.
Okay? So over time, fast forward, 3 months down the line, boom, something happened. Dad battered mom. And when the police came, obviously, the baby was...
How old was this baby at that time?
So, I'm talking of within a week. All of this happened within a space of... Initially, they started observing. Remember from the pregnancy?
From the pregnancy, they started observing the jacking, right?
And then when baby was born, they started observing as well.
Wow.
From day zero, from when the baby was born. Even in the hospital, when dad steps into that space, the baby is unsuited. Okay? So over time...
so
like
somebody said, how did baby now recognize that police were around?
Yeah, because ideally, the baby... Remember, baby would always know the voice of mom. Dad, they were living together, so baby recognizes the voice of dad.
Definitely.
Okay? But when, obviously, the baby does not know any other person, ideally, he wouldn't know any other person.
But can recognize the voice of a stranger in the premises.
So anytime the baby is not at Bermuda...
No. I think the baby can just recognize that the voice of strangers in the house, which is real, for real. Yeah. When a stranger comes into a home, no matter how old the baby is, they know the stranger. They know the voice of their mother, of their father, and they know the voice of strangers. If they have siblings, they recognize the voices of their siblings too. No matter how young they are. They do.
Yes.
The right that they know the voices of people living in that house.
Exactly.
They do.
Remember, everybody will be having conversation in that house.
Yes.
So that baby is human. The baby recognizes voices. But when visitors come in, the baby also knows the voice of a visitor. He might not be able to identify.
We will say visitors or strangers that don't live in that house. Yes, they do.
However, the fact that that baby is paying, the fact that that baby is crying, looking for attention when a visitor is around or about to leave, that speaks volume, because ideally, the home of a child should be a safe space.
Yes.
It should never be a place where the child is looking out.
Yes.
For comfort.
At any time.
At any time.
Yes.
Yes. So, like I said, fast forward 3 months down the line, domestic abuse happened. And mom denied it. But
as usual.
Yes, as usual.
Trying to cover for daddy.
Yes, she was trying to cover for daddy. Mom denied it. But the baby was always unruffled. In short, until the baby, normally at 3 months old, the baby would try to start sitting. The head of the baby would have been having developmental...
Okay, somebody said it's called third party voice syndrome.
No, it's not third party voice syndrome.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so over time...
Okay, somebody said the baby felt the mother became calm when the police came in. Okay, that could be why the child knows the mother is safe.
Yeah. And the baby will also, because normally a baby looks for protection. And
yes.
The place of protection,
no matter how young they are.
Yeah, the place of protection should always be home. The moment a child is looking out for protection, or a child is overly familiar with a stranger,
than the parents, right. Yes.
Something is not right. Okay? Please, can you stop distracting? Let me finish.
Okay, maybe you stop looking at comments.
Okay.
Comments can be very distracting, yes.
Yeah. So over time, they noticed that the baby was not making, because ideally at 3 months, that baby should have been making more contact, with like trying, developmental stage, the baby will be trying to sit. A baby that is in a secured environment, that child, when mommy is coming, the child will roll.
Yes.
Those little things, those little things that we don't pay
attention to. Yes.
You understand?
Especially where we are coming from.
Exactly. So what then happened? So when that domestic abuse happened, mom denied it, but the baby kept, the baby was not developing the way it should. So that also raised question from the angle of child development.
Concern, yeah.
Not that the baby was not, the baby was eating, but we noticed that the rate at which the child feed was dropping. Because obviously the baby has cried, the baby has looked to strangers, but whatever was happening at home continued. So what the baby started doing was, it started acting around food, whereby it will not eat normal like it would eat. So the weight was dropping.
Wow.
And then, because the baby is communicating, and, babies will do anything just to get that attention to them.
So this is all about going back to children communicating babies communicating in their own different way.
Yes.
The ones that cannot speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And over time, fast forward, eventually when when mom then agreed to speak about her domestic abuse, everything she was saying, and when we began to look at, so she gave us like an historical event. At the time that mom was pregnant, dad and mom, they used to batter themselves. So that explained the tutoring. Dad was always shouting and things like that. Anyway, over time, that baby was the one that led us.
Okay? I just remember something very significant. Continue.
Yeah. So that baby, you can see how the baby led professionals to investigate what was going on at home.
In the home front. That the mother refused to report.
Exactly. But because the baby kept communicating in his
own way,
that led to a lot of curiosity, because everything was fine. But the curiosity among professionals grew, because that baby was wanting to get out whatever it was that was going on. Now, another way we can also, children age, I would say children age 18 months up until 4, right? The easiest way to know if something is going on at home, just watch them do role play. If it's a girl, buy doll for that baby. Buy doll for the child. The way that child...
That is the play therapy.
Yes. You see, ideally, a child, maybe, in a house where there's sibling, right? When you see that child, normally a child will be watching how mommy is breastfeeding. Those little things. So you see the way the baby, if it's a child that drags her dolly, you can tell that there's something wrong. There's somebody dragging something somewhere close to her. If you notice, in a home where things are secured, and see, you will notice that, like people that call their husband and wife, where they call themselves honey, babe. If you notice, when the child starts speaking, the child is calling that babe.
Babe, yeah, they do that.
They might be saying honey.
Honey, yes.
You understand?
They replicate what you do.
Exactly. And then you see, they could, maybe you're a kind of parent that you're like, oh yeah, come and eat. Take the spoon. When that child is playing with their doll,
they will do the same thing.
Exact same thing.
Yes.
Okay? Or if it's a baby, maybe it's a child, that there's love, there's care being expressed at home.
Once they have a dolly, they will do the same thing to the dolly. Exactly. The same care they give it to the dolly.
Exactly.
How mommy does or how daddy does.
The way they will carry the doll, they'll be gentle. But in a child where there is a lot going on at home, that child will be the way they play tells you a lot.
And that's their own way of communicating of what is going on in the home.
Exactly. Okay? And then you also see children. Those ones are the ones who will say abebelube. Those children, when something goes wrong at home, they will look for a secured adult. There are those children that will say, I'm sad. Why are you sad? Mommy made me sad. And that child will start saying stuff.
Those are the children that are even allowed to talk. Some they will not allow them to talk. The ones that can talk.
Yes. So they might even go to nursery.
So now let us look at the ones that cannot talk and what will be happening to them emotionally.
Exactly. So you can even see even the one in play school age. I want
Jealous me.
What you notice with them is even the way they will carry no the one that thinks that they have a kindness, that kindness is going on at home. You will see that they want to offer food. You know, they want to do things that shows what is going on at home. Children don't just act based on acting.
That's true.
There is a reason. Because remember, from age 0 to 5, children are like sponge. Everything you do at home, they verbatim it back to you.
Yep.
They verbatim it. In short, another way you can also get, like, professionally, another way we get children to actually tell us what is going on, if we want to know what's going on at home, we'll get them to draw. So, for instance, I will give an example. There was one of the cases I did. It was mom, dad, you know, and siblings in the house. And then so I remember speaking to the child, and I said, and I said to the child, I said, "Oh, can you tell me who is in the house?" You know, of course, use children's language. So, can you tell me who is in your house? And auntie, when that child drew is at home, the child only drew his siblings, even though it's a house of mommy and daddy. And
so
siblings.
the parents are always absent. They are not at home.
The parents, he doesn't recognize the parents as people at home. Because even though they are home, they are never around.
Oh, they don't give time. They don't give them attention.
No. So the siblings are the place of safety.
For the child. Family times. Oh, now I get it. So they are always at home, but they don't give them the time as parents.
Yes. Remember, as a little child, you know the jealousy children, right? The person that gives them that sense of security. Remember what I was saying, that in the home front, home is a secured place.
Place for a child, yeah.
Okay? So mommy, daddy, everybody can be at home. But the question in the head of that child, who is really place? Okay? So when we told that child to draw, that child has mommy, daddy, and 4 siblings. I'm not using the correct numbers. You know, I'm just throwing figures around.
Yeah, sure.
Now, when the child was to draw, I'm talking of a 3-year-old. When that child was to draw the people at home, that child drew the child drew the siblings.
Excluding daddy and mommy.
Excluding mommy and daddy.
So then, that means it could mean that even the siblings are the one even taking care of her.
Yeah, they are the secured people. So, because initially, you know, we get the child to tell us what is in their head. Okay? We want to see the home from the lens of the child, from the eyes of the child. And then later on, then I said, oh, is it just this that is in the house? Is mommy not in the house? Can you tell us who else is in the house? You know what that child drew? Their neighbor that is 4 doors away. Not even mom, not dad.
Wow.
And then we went ahead and said, okay, why is it that these are the people in the house? Can you tell us why these are the people in the house? Auntie
Olanike, thank you. Go ahead.
Withdrawing. We now did color code. Okay? We told the child to do color code. Tell us your happy times. Use so color. What are you sad about? Use this color. You know, we gave the child different color and said, use different colors. Use these different colors in front of you to tell us how you feel about about all the people you've drawn. And see, the color code about the sibling was anxious.
Anxious.
The color code about, remember it's a 3-year-old.
Yes.
The color code about the neighbor that is 4 doors away is happy.
Oh.
Then we said, okay, mom, dad, draw mom and dad. The child drew mom and dad. What is the color code? Angry. Very angry.
Wow.
And then we started. So there's something we call a house of safety. It's a tool. Then we said, okay, draw the houses that make you happy. And then the baby drew. Tell us why mommy makes you angry. You know, the baby corrected and said, no, I'm not angry. I'm very angry.
Oh.
And then the baby started telling us, orishirishi that goes on.
Even about the mother.
Yes, mom, dad. Of course, the end result is that those children have to be removed because a lot was happening behind the scene at home. And this is a home that
I really wish we have things like that in Nigeria. A lot of children are going through so much abuse.
Sure.
The last video we did that I did about DJ Kulet and the husband, about 3 people called me, 3 full-grown adults, that their lives got messed up because they have bad parenting. Yes, they have money today, but the damage done. Honestly, I was crying with one when she was crying and telling me her story. And this mistake started when she was very young, under the parents.
Yeah.
The mother knew. Masorello, I wish we have this law, this kind of things working in Nigeria. A lot of parents are not fit to be mothers.
Yeah.
Not fit to be parents in that country. And that is why they get into a lot of trouble when they relocate. Exactly. Go ahead.
So that child did not just tell us about herself alone. It was through that drawing that we also got to know what goes on with the siblings. Of course, eventually those children were removed. And do you know the oldest of the siblings, the oldest sibling in that household was an 8-year-old child? When we asked, because again, this is a notion that needs to be corrected. You know, when social work wants to remove children, people always have this impression that they will just put the child in the foster care. That's not true. They look at friends and family that can care for the children first. So anyway, they asked the children, who would you want to look after you for the night? Because initially they take them away they remove them from that home environment first. And you know what the children said? We are safe being with da. That is neighbor house number 4.
Wow.
Okay? And all the 4 children were so happy to go
going
there.
to the place.
In short, they were so happy to the extent that when we were saying, okay, let's pack a night bag.
Somebody said, what color did the child choose for the angry face?
I can't disclose that color. But
they say they can't disclose it for professional reasons.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can. So, sorry, but for the person that asked, if you go on Google, there's something called emotional emoji.
Okay.
If you go on Google,
it's even on this thing we are using now.
Even our phones, you know those.
Oh, lori phone, lori time, keypad, staffing type, and all that. It's there.
Yeah, you can use emotional emoji, okay? And even as parents or as caregivers, those of us who live in the diaspora, particularly, okay, let me give you guys expo. Those of you who just
okay. I think I have another professional on TikTok. She said we use color for feelings. They choose their color and we ask why they are feeling that way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Miriam T Paris. I have a lot of professionals on this my page. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So maybe one of these days you want to come up and talk to us too. Miriam. No, why did you go? Kilo shele. Oh yeah, we are coming back. Oh, this or the younger parents they want them to really learn. Oh, they should do better than our mother didn't do so well. They tried their best, but we know what they did. Many of us still have the scars and everything. Parents of my generation, we know what is going on. But in the majority in that show, so many are crying inside. So we want the younger ones to do better. You know, we don't want to breed by children that are damaged. Okay. Oh yeah, send request. Don't go yet. We are enjoying it. Even though I didn't give you heads up that I want to treat the topic. So, Tobati did the teenagers, I will step in. Oh yeah, be telling us the younger ones.
I don't know what happened there.
Okay, you're welcome back.
You see, yeah, thank you, back. So for people who are online, emotional emoji is a very good thing.
Go ahead.
Emotional emoji is a very good thing to use. You can use that for feelings. Like, you know how on your smartphone, you have laugh, you have sad, you have all of that.
All the different faces.
Okay?
Emotion and emotions.
You can use it as a game in your house. both mom, dad, whoever are the adults in the house, don't just focus on the children. All of you in the morning, for instance.
Yes, they can even use it if you are a parent that you are busy and you leave your children with people. You can even use it to know how they are treating those children in your absence.
And see, for instance, you see the emotional emoji. As a parent, you can download it. You see in the morning, before you leave your house in the morning, okay? You can have the different emotional emoji. And even you can even put it on your fridge, like your fridge magnet.
Yes.
You can put it on your fridge. You can even use it for, you don't have to go and break the bank. You could print it out from social media. Sorry, from Google. Sorry. You could print out from Google and color it. You understand? Just print it out, color it, and you normalize using it. Whereby in the morning, maybe ideally, before going out of the house, maybe first thing first when the children
okay, a parent is asking, please, what is it called? I need it, please.
It's emotional
emoji. I think you can even get it on Amazon.
And so you don't even need to buy. It's on Google. Just Google it.
No, to have it printed, at least maybe the magnet type that you can stick to your fridge.
They can print. They can make it themselves. You don't have to go and buy. You can print and cut it out yourself.
Okay.
You understand? To save money, you can. I mean, if you want to buy, fine. But you can even laminate it yourself.
Okay.
So you can normalize it.
You get the picture, laminate it, and stick it with magnets to the fridge. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So all you need to do is...
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So somebody just did it on Google. Just print it out. Print the different emoji. Just
somebody said there is a book called Emotional Monster. It comes with all the emotional something. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So once you print it, right? In the morning, as you and your children are waking up, you take part in, make it like a game. Where your children, you wake up in the morning, okay, everybody, you have the names of your children. You can do like a whiteboard. You write the names of everybody. Maybe Aproko, Gimigu, whatever name, put it there of your children. Mommy, daddy, everybody take part in it. If you have...
Especially on weekends, like playtime, family playtime.
Yes. So once you do it...
I don't see any reason why parents every weekend, you don't have time. And that's why I look at people who get too busy. Your time is for your family, outside work. You take time, sit on the floor with your children, you, your husband, and those young children. Even if they are grown, you have that special time you spend together to know what is going on and to find out what they feel, to find out, their concerns.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the interesting thing, Auntie, if they do it every day, there's a lot to pick up from your children. Because you are part and parcel of it. So you're not just saying, oh, your children, come and do it. You are also there because what you are doing, by taking part in the play, in the emotional emoji play, you're also showing your children that mommy can be sad, daddy can be sad, mommy can be happy, daddy can be happy.
Let me chip this in. I have said this, sorry to cut you short. I have said this times without number while doing my shows and probably talking about some challenges I faced. I remember I once said, and this is a very good tips for family, for parenting. When my children were young, I stopped having house help when my firstborn was about 9 or 10. I can't remember. I just decided I don't want to do that extra cost, number one. Number two, I want them to be useful for themselves too in the house. Because the house help I had is always doing everything. Even when I say, oh yeah, do this, the first day Lord see shop, and she won't allow them to do it. And I will become angry and said, money why? Then I stop having house help. Then I remember every weekend. I am Geraldine. This is live show. If I remember something I can chip in, then she can continue too, okay? I remember every weekend, every Saturday specifically, every one of us have something we have to do jointly as a family. Then, till today, it has been imbibed in them till today. Is what they live with. That is trying to talk about to back what you just said about doing things together as a family on weekends. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Thank you for that, ma, because that's also very, very important. A lot of parents are so busy that they are even too busy to be parents.
Yeah.
They've turned themselves to womb to baby to baby carrier, but they are not present parents.
When somebody else now help them train pikin, then go say na somebody spoil their pikin for them.
Exactly. So like the emotional emoji daily, every day you can you wake up in the morning, make sure you do it first thing in the morning and last thing in the evening before the children go to bed. Okay? If you are slightly buoyant, if you have the money, you can buy, if your children are younger, maybe like children below the age of 5, you can buy teddy bear of different colors. Okay? Teddy bear or soft toys of different colors. And when the children are going to bed, that's children below from 5 below, you can buy that. And then when the children are going to bed, tell each child to pick the teddy bear that expresses their feeling. You understand? The teddy bear, the color of the teddy bear that expresses that. You can go to bed with it. Some children go to bed with their teddy bears. And you as a parent also be part of that.
How when they were young.
Yes. And when they wake up in the morning, okay, you can have, again, tell them to pick the teddy bear that shows their feelings in the morning. Some children, as innocent as children are, a child can pick, say for talking sake, a child can pick blue teddy bear, okay, at night going to bed. That blue teddy bear might be that the child is happy, and then you're like, oh, why are you picking that teddy bear? Don't just let them pick it. Engage them, because at schools, especially in the Western country, at schools in what's the name, in the hospitals, the pediatricians. If you notice, auntie, the doctors or nurses in children's hospitals, they don't dress like they don't wear the normal scrubs that other people wear. They wear child-friendly scrubs.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Even when, like Nigeria, when they want to give immunization in the Western country, they play with the baby.
Oh, have you seen some of the videos that pop up on social media? Oh my God.
Exactly.
The way they give immunization, yeah.
Yeah, so they play with the baby. In Nigeria, they go say, mom is the one. But over in the Western world, it's a different ball game.
Yeah.
And one thing I will quickly chip while I'm saying that is, you see, every stage of
a child's life
with your child in the Western country is assessment. Every stage of engagement is assessment. For those of you in the UK, when a health visitor come to your house and they are carrying your baby, they are looking at your baby, they are playing with the baby. They are not doing it because they like your baby. It is an assessment. Just to put that out there. So it's not to pick you out. It's just an assessment, because to
check what is going on.
Yeah, because like they will carry the baby. We are carrying the baby. They are carrying the baby to know the weight of the baby, to know how the baby react to them. It's all assessments.
Wow.
That's a different topic entirely. I mean, maybe we can come back.
We will still come and talk about it.
Okay. So what I'm saying, even in nursery, even in like nursery school, primary, all of these things, every stage is an assessment. So they're not doing it for the fun of doing it. There's a reason why they're doing it. And when they're asking you questions, some of the questions are stemming from what they're observing as they're carrying your baby or as they're engaging with your child.
Somebody said they're also checking your eye contacts too.
Yes, they check your eye contact. They do. So until that one, we'll come back
and talk about that. And maybe we'll do that one next week, Saturday. But if it's come.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
So back to the emotional.
We are going to do it in stages. Yeah. Let's talk about the younger ones, since we are professional in that, at least the professional field of that. You come and help us, especially for our diasporans.
Yes.
And even back home too. People need it back home too.
Yeah. So, for instance, like back to the emotional emoji. I'm not a man, I'm a woman.
Nígbà tí wọ́n náà ní ohun tó kílẹ̀ tó jìnjìn. Go ahead.
I'm a man. I've not looked after my wife, no problem. Anyway, so with emotional emoji, those of you who have children age 5 and below, you can buy teddy bear.
Age 0 to 5.
Age 0 to 5. You can buy teddy bear You can even buy Ben 10. You know those.
Ben 10.
Exactly. Look at the emoji. Look at the teddy bears or the toys that is raining. You understand? Every child loves teddy bears. Soft toys.
Yes.
Is an easy thing. Okay.
The only child that would not like teddy bear is a child going through abuse.
Exactly.
They tear the teddy bear, they destroy it. Yeah.
They naturally want exactly, and that's another thing.
They destroy. They destroy things like that.
When a child is being rough with toy, there is.
I'm always passing out my children's teddy to people. Oh, you man new pani. One ma fi shere titi ti ama tun fen lo mi. But some children, you wonder when you see them with teddies. Now it's me. I didn't know about it. Oh, you want to shalaye for me. In those days, I didn't know that was what was happening.
Yeah.
I know some children back home that will carry teddy bear. One yanya manyama, one fin kongun, one kon oríṣiríṣi sí lára. Now I understand why they are doing it.
Yeah.
And now I understand.
So if those children, if you buy cuddly toys like teddies, for instance, teddy is always easy. Just get them in different colors. And so when they are going to bed at night, get the children to have you, not just the children, you yourself participate. For those of us for those in Nigeria, you know, you people who have money, you can employ domestic staff. Abroad. Those of you that have domestic staff in Nigeria, you know, people that look after your children for you.
Somebody said even throwing the dolls on the floor. Throwing the doll is a sign that something is going on too.
Yeah. Even the way they kick ball, even the way a child kicks ball. You know, there's a lot of things that we pick up. And that's why, you know, when something happens, for a professional, it's very easy to pick what's happening. It's very, very easy. So, like I said,
you see, and we never knew all this. Meanwhile, destructive. You don't know why they are destructive.
Exactly. So, like I said, so you as a parent, take part in it. Let every child, your children, including yourself and your husband, if you're a household of parents,
father, mother, father's mother, and the children.
Yes, if you're also a household of single parents, be part of it. Okay. Now, when you are picking your teddy bear, you can have a basket, or you don't even need to go and buy a basket.
I had a toy box that I made, colorful toy box with all the primary colors.
Exactly.
Oh, you know, see, I gave it out to my sister or somebody. I can't remember now.
Exactly. So just have that toy box and make sure that the children, you yourself, join in. Go and pick the toy that represents your mood, the color of the toy that represents your mood. Okay? And when you are picking it at night, the first thing the child, when anybody that is picking it, the first thing is the child, you are asking individuals.
Okay, hold on. Somebody said you are trying to speak about people with domestic help. What were you trying to say?
Yeah, that's what I'm explaining.
Okay.
There. So what I'm saying is, you know, so everybody, including your domestic help, okay? You go and pick the toy, pick the teddy bear for the night that shows your emotion. Okay, so when individual pick it, let them tell you. So you know, you make it like again, it's a game. So you're like, oh, Andy, you picked this blue teddy bear. Why did you pick it? And it could say, oh, it's my friend, or it's my best friend. You know how children talk. It's my friend. It's my best friend. It's my happy toy. How do you feel? You could say, oh, I'm very happy. I'm going to bed with my happy toy. Okay. And that is it. Another one might pick another toy. Maybe I don't know. I'm just using random color now. It could be a black toy, and it says, "I'm angry." Why are you angry? Oh, maybe I'm going to. Yesterday I had a scary monster dream, and I don't want to have it.
I don't want to go to bed now.
You understand? So they will pick that scary monster. And you know, everybody takes part. Mommy too takes her own toy. Daddy takes his own toy. The domestic staff also takes their own toy. And what that does is you are using one stone to kill two birds. You are getting the feeling of the child. You're also getting the child to feel safe, to express how they feel.
And you are also telling the child they are not the only one having feelings, that everybody has feelings.
Exactly. So they are saying how they feel in a safe space.
Yes.
Remember how I said the home front is meant to be safe. Okay? So, mommy too, if you are picking the toy, whatever the color of the toy you are picking, it could be maybe you are anxious. Why are you anxious? Oh, at at work today, I had a meeting, and that meeting was very difficult meeting. So you're making your child understand that you as well, you are human. You have a feeling. Okay? In the morning, fast forward, let's go to the morning. Okay, even like the domestic staff now, for instance, domestic staff might pick, say for talking sake, a brown toy, a brown teddy. Why are you picking a brown teddy? Oh, I feel relaxed. Then the domestic staff, oh, why are you feeling relaxed? Today has been a very lovely day. I was able to play. I was able to do whatever it is. So everybody is participating. There is nothing like Omodo cannot talk. Arale cannot talk. Everybody is talking. Okay?
Even treating Omodo somehow at home while your children are looking is not a good thing.
Exactly.
That most parents don't know.
Exactly.
You are teaching them what segregation is. And that's why many will grow up to be so prideful. And they look down on people.
And some children can also resent that.
And God bless you. That's what I'm about to say. And some children will resent it. And even resent you as a parent too.
Exactly.
Doing that.
Exactly.
And it could backfire on you later.
Exactly.
Now, before we go ahead, somebody asked a question. Said something here that I want you to look at. That person said, and I think to some degree I will agree. But I will say when it comes to Teddy, that person said destroying toys can be a high degree of curiosity to see how those toys are made. Not with Teddy. Teddy is something like a baby.
He's cuddly. Yeah.
He's cuddly. If you say maybe a car, that they put different cars apart, a car, they cut it, take it apart, that could be curiosity, I would say yes. But when it comes to a Teddy, a child tearing up a Teddy, dipping and doing all these sorts of things, I think it's more than that.
Then, Auntie, say for instance, let me put my professional art now.
Okay.
For instance, if a child is destroying a Teddy, say the behavior is at home, what we then want to find out is, does that child also do the same when they are in school?
Okay, to other students, right? To other children.
Yeah, no, even at school, like when they have Teddies, they have toys that they play with in their does that child do exact same thing at school?
Okay. If no, what do you say?
If it's no, then
thank you, Amoti.
We begin to follow the pattern of the child's behavior. Again, you know how some people will say, I don't know what happened. Social work just collected child. They didn't just come and collect your child.
Your child.
There is a pattern that was built. There's a chronology that was built. If the child is at home and the child is doing a certain behavior, say a child that is, okay, I'll give you an example and say, I remember working with a child. It's actually an adult now. I remember working with a child. When the child is at home, the child is very, very violent.
Okay.
Okay? Violence to the extent that child is like a BEAST.
Wow.
When he's at home. Okay?
Yeah, I want to come on. Why am I saying wow?
He will pull window. The child is BEST at home. And I'm talking about a child that was 7 at the time.
Our parents are not gbalaye, àwọn náà kọ débẹ̀ kankan ló ṣẹlẹ̀.
No, auntie.
Mo ní kankan ló ṣẹlẹ̀.
Things were happening at home. Okay? Now, when that child is at school, that child is the most protective and loving child at school and anywhere outside the home fronts. Do you know what we later found out? After much investigation and blah, 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 guess what happened? I said the father, they collaborate. Okay? The father, they carry what? Yes.
Yeah.
And that started from...
Mi fẹ́ gbọ́ nǹkan báyìí o. Tá bá ti treat nǹkan báyìí, àwọn èèyàn máa ń pè mí gan.
It started from age 3. Shengo, age 3. Now, you might ask, where is the mama? When daddy wants to collabo, he go tie mama round window, put sellotape for her mouth.
Ha!
Look at you never see anything.
This is not funny, oh.
I know. So you go put sellotape for mama mouth.
Jeez.
Then the younger sister, he go give am ogunrun. Okay? He go buy ogunrun for streets. He go give am. Sorry if you don't understand English of what I'm saying. English is not my first language. Sorry. He go carry ogunrun from streets. He go buy am. And in the UK, ogunrun is the easiest thing to buy on the streets. So people even make their own. They can make their own recipe of it. Anyway, he go give the child ogunrun. So that child is always sleeping. The child don't know what will happen. The brother, Baba will carry the brother. He go collaborate way. When he don't collaborate, yes, now boy. So you might ask, why didn't the elder visitor pick up on it? You know what the child, you know what what he does? When he don't collaborate and finish, he will get what's it called? He gets lime. Lime, you know lime. Also, where? He go get lime, rub him for a backyard, and then use what's the name? Use pampers and wrapper so that there won't be body mark, so that there won't be mark that is traceable.
Fúnmi òní ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Hello. Ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ Nàìjíríà tí ò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó máa rescue àwọn ọmọ yẹn. So take it back.
So they go do that. Then we
ṣebí wọ́n máa rescue wọn nílùú òyìnbó tán bá mọ̀. When they know in Nigeria, who is rescuing those children? Who is helping them out? Don't let us talk. The people that called me last time that we treated this kind of topic, Naija, our parents no more. Kò sẹ́ni tó rescue wọn. They grew up living with the trauma. Until today, the trauma is living with them. Ṣé báwọn yẹn wọ́n máa rescue wọn? Therapist àbá pa wọn sọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n help wọn to get out of the trauma and everything. Abeg. Ẹ máa ń fẹ́ sáré throw blame. That is your ìlú òyìnbó. Èèyàn kan ní kí wọ́n má wá sí ìlú òyìnbó yẹn. Tẹ́ bá ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yin pé kò ń pẹ́ yóò tí wọ́n máa fish yín out from the angle you are talking from. My darling sister, sorry to cut you short. Please continue your talk, Ijere.
Yeah, so dad go squeeze lime inside the pikin backyard. Then wear pampers and then use a tight knicker so that the child, because lime would normally is like alum, bring everything back. So they would never notice the expansion.
But the child was using pampers, like you said. Does he use the pampers to school?
He doesn't use pampers at school. Apart from the child behaves like BAST, right? The child was still bedwetting.
Oh, so that raised curiosity.
So that was one curiosity hanging.
Yes.
Then
what could be happening?
Apart from the behavior of the child at home, then secondly, that child hated anything fruit and veg. Okay? So
yeah, some children don't like vegetable now.
No. But this particular one, there was a reason why that was going on. So when we now started investigating, that was when we play therapy. Like we find out in Koto Shele. And the child went back in time, started telling story.
Okay, if you say, for your information, I live in the US, then why did you say that is your Iloyinbo? Then something is going on with you. But you are not in the other side of it. And you are now looking for a system to blame for your error. Go on, son, Jerry.
Yeah. So it does, after doing all of that, anyway, it was through that child that we realized I said the father born in the house is a fido. And then I say the father, after all, he was never caught. He had a very good job. He was never caught until that happened. Until we figured out, because it wasn't like they just suddenly discovered what was going on.
Hi.
When they notice the behavior of the child, they are taking the child first. They check to make sure that there's no autism. They check to make sure that there was, it's not just they will just jump at things.
But you have mental something or brain problem.
So there's a lot of examination that was done, a lot of assessments to establish. And when everything came back, there was nothing. So they were like, okay, what is going on here? And of course, Oyibo no go back off until they satisfy their curiosity. So, long the health of it, It was the child that reviewed what was going on at the back, in the backyard, or in the closed door of their home. The child rescued. It was through the child. Mom was rescued. The younger child, the sibling, was okay, and the child is a grown-up child now. But when they say things they occur, originally they occur. But how was that child able to? How were they able to establish things with that child? Yes, they used the emotional emoji. The child was very closed off. In short, it was that bad. The child does not express emotions at all.
Hey, what's it blank?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The child, because that was a difficulty, because naturally children will talk about, even adults, they talk about their emotions.
Yeah, what's it blank in it?
Then when they took, so after
no
the
more
child
feelings.
After the child made a disclosure, because that's what we call it. After the child made a disclosure, we then, of course, the child was referred for therapy. Auntie, for 7 years, the child did not engage in therapy. The child struggled to engage in therapy. Because that was how bad things were.
That's a serious one.
Yes. So there are so many ones. There are so many. The list is endless. But basically, as parents, that emotional emoji, if there's anything you take away today, take away how to use emotional emoji. Just being able to talk about your emotions with your children. Like, for as a parent, maybe it's financial stuff that you're worried about. Of course, your children might not necessarily understand the financial whatever, but let your children understand that it is okay to have emotions. Normalize that conversation. Okay?
It's okay for them to cry. It's okay for them to tell what is going on with them. Ask them questions.
There's also that thing that we will say, boys don't cry. Please let boys cry. Let them cry. Okay? Or you will say girls are timid. No. Let them make your home a home of comfort, whereby your children
can express themselves.
Can express themselves. Even the staff working in your house, for those of you in Nigeria or in Africa, the staff working in your house, trust me,
domestic staffs.
Those staff, they actually hold the key to you sometimes. Remember, the cook that is cooking your food, yes, you will sit down, you will eat the food, but that same cook only decide to feed whatever,
the way the domestic staff feels in the house will rub off on the children too.
Exactly.
If the house help is happy, is unhappy, it's rubbing off on your children. If you are treating them like they are nobody, it's rubbing off on your children one way or the other.
Because a lot of people, they leave their children in the care of the house girl.
One thing I see our people fail to do, or they love doing, they are quick to blame the society for their failure as a parent.
Auntie,
they are quick to throw blames.
Auntie, even when they come abroad, you will see them. It is because, I'm not saying there's no racism, but when something gets caught up with them, they say, it's because we are doo-doo. That's why they take a child away from us. But you're not saying what actually happened. You understand?
What really happened? What did you do?
Exactly. For those who are jackpying, the jackpot and the jackpying, a lot of these people, okay, yes, you are working back to back. You are trying to save money for your visa. Sometimes their parents have been caught up, whereby their children go to school. They are the first to be in school. You understand?
Yeah.
Your kids are the first to be in school. Even when they are the first to be in school, it's not mom and dad bringing them to school. It's their older children bringing the younger ones to school.
To the school. The same thing is happening back in Nigeria too. It's not about diasporans alone. Go to Nigeria, you will see a 5-year-old taking a 2-year-old together. They are going to school. That one plenty inside. At least Nigeria, I train my children. That one plenty. Apart from that, there are some that at the end of school time, when closing time, their children, now then they keep teacher for school more than necessary. Their parents will not come and pick them on time. There are many. The child will be very tired. The child will have been worn out. He go don't sleep, he go don't wake up. Mama and papa never come. No be say mama get any special job, oh. Whether mama don't go sit down for one place, they go do gossip. You go carry car, go sit down for friend place to go and talk major, and they will go and pick children late because they know teacher cannot leave the children at school to go home. They will go and pick those children late. And there are some that their work will take them so long. It's in by the time they are picking children, the children are already sleeping and they still have homework. Nigeria one is even in that case making a small, maybe small case.
Auntie.
Teacher go don't give plenty homework for children. Homework where we say after school, you will still take another 2-3 hours. You are still doing homework. They will still do that one. By the time they are done, no playtime, not to sleep. We don't know that playtime is very important for children. They feel the playtime in school alone is enough. By the time you are putting on TV, the child is ready to sleep. The way and manner, and I agree, I won't say, training children in Nigeria is tough, especially financially. But parents still have to balance it, even in the process. You still have to balance it.
Auntie, training children in Nigeria is tough. Training children abroad is tougher.
It's tougher. It's true, Sha. It's true. You are right.
In Nigeria, there is support system. In the Western country, support system no day.
No day. That's true.
Yes, you can have friends. Your friends can help you look after your
You can even have 2 house help.
Exactly. Like in abroad, you can, people who have younger children, you can have chains of friends, and you guys can be helping to babysit your children. But then, if the gay happen, you are responsible.
For anything that will happen to your child.
You understand? So, but in all...
Somebody said 90% of abuse occurs in homes or familiar places with people the child is familiar with.
It's not 90%, 99%. Let's correct that.
Abi?
Because an abuser, anybody that would abuse a child, or even a...
Okay, somebody say you pay late fee. Go ahead.
An abuser is a known face to a child. An abuser is not a stranger. It's a known face to a child. Even the ones that abuse women or men, when they say there's a RAPE,
yes,
right? That person would probably have trailed their victims before they eventually strike. It is not a straightforward, they don't know. Yes, you might not know that you are being followed, but that person has mastered how the time you walk in that area. They've mastered your movement. They've mastered where you go from one point to the other. You understand? And they would have followed you. But a lot of people, their head they spin. So, like I think the main thing is always make your home a safe space. Don't make your home a place of vulnerability. And then for those of us, particularly those of us in Africa, even those of us in the diaspora, having so many adults. I know we are a communal people, but having too many adults in your household
is dangerous.
Is not the right thing.
Yes, especially when the children are minor. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's important that you are, and again, that's where this emotional emoji comes in.
Most people, most minors who are ABUSE as minors, it's always done by their family members.
Apart from family members,
most times
trusted adults.
Trusted adults that are family members. Yes, that is nuclear family. I mean, extended family.
It could be family members.
Most times.
It could be neighbors.
Neighbors.
Trusted adults around that
yes.
children. That's why they are classed as trusted adults. Because they are a familiar face to that child.
To that child, yes.
They are not a face that is strange. Okay? So...
and that's the saddest part, having to still have to see that person and relate with them as family. That's crazy for anybody to deal with.
Exactly. So hopefully, today, if there's anything that you take away, even if you don't take anything away, take away the emotional emoji. If you are parents,
young parents,
teenagers,
I will title it to the topic because people are saying I didn't put up, so I will title the topic. I'll use it to title the title of the video.
Yeah. So as parents, have what's the name? Go on Google. If you want to go and buy, fine. But if you go on Google, it's very easy. You can Google it and just Google emotional emoji. That's all you need to do.
Training children in abroad is more challenging than Nigeria. I agree. I think training children in abroad is not as challenging as Nigeria, and I will tell you why, if you allow me. In Nigeria, you would think you have the support system, but financially, it is very tough. I train children in Nigeria and here, and I see the difference. Back in Nigeria, if you want your children, you want to give them good training, you need good money to go to take them to good schools in Nigeria, right from kindergarten.
Auntie, sorry, let me quickly answer this person. The person said I should talk about sleepover.
Okay.
You see me, play date and sleepover. Okay. You see me, let me be honest with you. I think it's Obelewani. Sorry, Okeke Mary Ann. Sorry if I did.
Somebody said, I hope that we all know that it takes a good community to raise a child. Oh. We can't throw community away. But it starts from the home first. Community is secondary.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me answer Mary first. Play dates, they don't teach people how to raise. I will never tell anybody how to raise their children. Me as a person, when I was raising my child, sleepover was a no-no. Play dates was a no-no because I'm sorry, we all molemi. So me, I don't
sleepover of who?
No, like children going to do sleepover or a child coming to come and do sleepover. Maybe because I raised my own here in the UK. I didn't want any because I cannot be responsible for somebody else's child.
Your issue.
So, and the kind of job I do, I think I should know better. That is me. But again, some people are quite happy doing it. But of course,
many people are saying sleepover is a no-no for them.
And of course, we have seen a lot of cases.
Somebody said no sleepover. Older cousins are perpetrators.
And some people, I have seen where sleepover has led to parents being charged with neglect because things had happened. Anyway, I'm not saying that is it. As a parent, remember, you are responsible for your child. Whatever happens to your child, you laid that safe space for that thing to happen. You made your child vulnerable for that thing to happen. So if you want to do play dates, over to you. If you want
it's
to
your
do
choice.
Over to you.
It's your choice.
What I tell you for free is the laws are created for a reason. And in Nigeria, where the law does not even cover you, it is up to you.
For nothing.
Then, for those that, for the man, for Rose that was talking about community, like raising, where we can't, yes, we cannot throw our community away. But before
community is the home.
Your home has to be a safe space because a safe home is a safe landing for every child.
Yeah.
If anything is going on, that's why we're talking about the emotional emoji. If anything is going on,
if the community fails your child, the home should be there for your child to come to.
And
but if you fail your child, the community cannot do much.
Exactly. And even if the moment your child start looking to reach out to community as a place of safety, instead of coming home to a place of safety, then there's a problem.
Yep.
Yes, it is good to have community. Yes, I know they say it takes a village to raise a child.
Now, maybe when the community was community, do we still have community that you can trust now?
Auntie, even when community was community, Auntie, maybe you watch Jimmy Savile.
Benny, I'm still watching.
You were watching Jimmy Savile, Auntie, maybe you watch Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Right? You saw how they were recruiting. So, yes, when community was Oyibo,
anyway, we thought it was community, not knowing what was going on.
You see Oyibos, the Western country, they were almost like Africa initially, where everybody, the children were free to play. If you look at UK in the 80s and early 70s and the 70s, children were, even up to the 90s, children were free to play around. But then when incident of abuse,
and this thing was happening then too.
It was happening. Auntie, you do not remember? Okay, you started watching Jimmy Savile. Look
no,
at the 70s. Jimmy Savile's song was from the 70s, early 70s. Okay? And of course, there was trust. People felt, he was doing charity. It was, in short, the things he did then, nobody can get away with what Jimmy Savile did now.
Yeah.
Because they keep tightening their system up. Okay? Because in the case of Jimmy Savile, The police failed those children. The professionals failed those children. In short, to the extent Jimmy Savo, even in the hospital, he was going to hospital to do the ABUSC in the hospital, in an hospital space, where it shouldn't be happening.
Yes.
He went to boarding schools to do such. Now, those things, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not a soft landing
anymore.
Like it was at the time. Okay? So, again, we are back to the fact that, yes, the community is there. Children can go and play in the community. Like in Africa now, okay, let's even say Nigeria. If you look at most children, when they start giving their experiences, a lot of them, yes, it takes a village to raise a child. But
it is that same community that is abusing them in Nigeria.
Exactly.
And they are getting away with it. One uncle will just stay somewhere and say, Tolu wambi wa loba mira nkan. And because you say you are in a community, that the child will go. Before you know it, want him mom wole want him bass community. That will community help.
Auntie, don't even let us go far away. DJ Kures, Shebi is the recent one that happened.
Oh ho! DJ Kures, yes.
What was Mama Favor saying?
Oh,
said,
and that is the community, oh.
And that is the mother of that child, though. It was DJ Kures that was like, Emma Jen change for him. That is someone that is not even the mother. The mother of that child was even making an excuse for the husband of DJ Kures.
To get away with it, to give him a soft landing.
Okay, that's one. Now, let us look at the community that we're talking about. The one that, the stampede that happened in Ibadan. Shebi is again his community, Abi. The parents who are meant to be safeguarded, the only can come on 5,000. You as a parent, you carry, forget about Victoria Korombi. Those ones are Western country. Let us talk of our practicality. They said they should bring 5,000 children for giveaway, Abi, for feeding, whatever they are doing. They carried parents. They didn't even ask. They suspended their breed. They didn't ask. You are telling us to bring our children. How are our children going to be safe? How far is the nearest hospital from here? In case something happens. Is there ambulance? No, people suspended their break. They carried their children there. And
some going with as many as 9 children.
And when the whole thing happened, you saw that the organizers,
Olukaluku Yore.
Even the so-called community and society were even making excuses for the organizers.
Community.
You understand? So, again, if you are a parent, maybe you have plenty children and you want to use them to play domino. Then good for you. But it's not everybody that can use their children to play domino.
Then you.
I know I'm shaking table, I'm sorry. But anyway, Auntie, next Saturday, because I don't want us to complicate, let people go with
what we have discussed. Yeah.
What they've discussed. Let me come and learn too.
No, you are going to be our teacher professionally. You know, you are talking from the professional angle now. Me, I can chip in my own practical angle. And any other parent that want to chip in, we want people who have done it and experience to join us and chip in their own contribution too, you know, for the younger ones to learn. Okay, because a lot is happening, a lot has been happening, and it is unfortunate that so many people are still making that mistake and still allowing the thing to still happen. And that's why we are doing this. Okay, and training a child is not about only protecting them from ABUSE too, even training from other things, you know, to make them useful to themselves and to wherever they will go to. Those are the things we are going to be looking at. Anything you want to say again, Aproko?
Yes, also training a child, just to buttress, Auntie, it's not about buying, you know, some parents believe I will buy toy, I will buy expensive phone.
Yeah, to cover up for my hype sense.
Let me buy DSTV. Let me put cable channel. Let's do rishi. That is not training a child. And also, learn to train your child to understand that no means no.
Yeah.
Okay? Some parents, their children will just point at anything. I want this. Some parents don't know how to say no. When I was growing up, my grandmother used to say, some parents don't understand that. They believe, we are taking my child for vacation. The Oyibo that you are trying to copy, not Oyibo insurance, so I'm talking of Oyibo middle class, Oyibo upper class. They don't train their children anyhow. They raise their children like the way we train our kids. Like, they raise their kids with values. The Oyibos that you see, that their children are caught up in child protection most times, are Oyibo, benefit Oyibo.
Our benefits.
Oyibo working class. They are not the middle class. They are not the upper class. Let me give you an example before I walk away. You can remember the days of Prince Harry, when his mother died, and he started taking the father. It was the father that took him to rehab. That is Aburu Obalola. It was the father that took him to rehab. Meanwhile, if it was a normal, what is the name? If it was a normal Oyibo benefit, that child, those of you who live abroad, those of you work in DRUG services, you know what methadone means. They were not giving him methadone. They were not giving him methadone. They took him to rehab. One reset his brain here. To the extent the father made him go and join army just to reset his brain. You understand? And that is the one. The grandmother, now his father is the face of pound sterling. Only grandchild.
Only pride buy. Pride be.
So all I'm saying is, when you see, some of us, when we come abroad, we will say in it, you'll be forming a you'll be doing it. I want me. You just come abroad. You have not even reached even our daughter, we are almost how many decades here. You see that they will come within 2 days, follow Nitro accent. You hear it? You wanna Ghana. Hey, sure, wanna Ghana.
And you are àwọn ọmọ wa mi báyìí ní store. Wa máa wò pé báwo no ṣe ń train ọmọ báyìí torí Ọlọ́run.
Afi sùúrù. Auntie wo, ẹ má jẹ́ comfortable yẹn lady.
Tóyìnbó bá ní kẹ́ má tọ́ ọmọ. There are ways you train a child ẹ máa kó control wọn kẹ́.
Auntie, even the
Òyìnbó tó ní kẹ́ má train ọmọ. Kẹ́ wọ́n lè yàyàkuyà náà nà fẹ́. Fún yín. Catherine sister, that will be on Saturday between 12 and 1, like we did today. Go ahead.
Like, for instance, all you need to do, if you want to understand how, what is their name, how Oyibo trains their children. I'm talking of proper Oyibo, not in it Oyibo, not the Abetiti Oyibo. The proper Oyibo, if you want to know how they train their children, why are you even going far away? Look at Donald Trump. Look at his children.
One more last one,
right? Look at his children. Oh, don't go far. Don't look at the in-it people. Look at the people. I want Oyibo, the real Oyibo, the middle class, and the low Oyibo. They don't raise their children anyhow because they know that their children is the face of their family,
of their future, of their empire.
Exactly. So they raise their kids. They deliberately raise their kids. You will not see Kino Porukwe. You will not look at like the royal family in the UK. Prince Louis, William's son, the last boy, he was sticking his tongue out. If you live abroad, you know what that means. Over time, they were able to guide him out. And he doesn't do that anymore. Yes, he's young, but they're able to stage manage him. And I can tell you for free, there's a lot that has gone on behind the scene, but they're not going to come and do it openly to you. The laws around child protection, yes, it's there to guide everybody. But the real Oyibo is not saying Emma Tomonyi Baje and you know.
Problem ni.
And if you talk about Baje, correction center, you are making people to be employed. But they decide that to talk more insurance, all well and good. You see the end product of insurance.
God bless you. Thank you so much for coming on board. So next week we'll continue on the professional side of the 0 to 10. So put it in mind, okay? How to drop. So I'm okay, so we can talk on that. And I want to say a very big thank you to her for giving us a professional side of training a child from 0 to 5. You know, what got us there was when I was talking about children communicating, that you think your children are not seeing what is going on. You think they can't feel because they are young. And that is why so many of you just carry on like your children don't matter in the house. And you do all sorts. Unknowingly to you, it's affecting your children already. No matter how young you think they are. The languages you speak, the words you speak, your emotions and everything, those children are watching you. They are watching your countenance. They are watching your attitude. The words you think they don't understand, they are understanding everything. You think they are too small. That was when Aproko came in and said, let me chip in my professional side of this thing, that from zero, even while a child is pregnant, that child can recognize your voice and your emotions. That, and she gave us different scenario of how they get to know when a child is under trauma or ABUSE as a baby, 0 plus, up, and from there they can know what is going on in the home. And it's unfortunate that on now part of the world where we come from, those kind of things are not really taken into consideration. Everything is on you, the parents, to do, and thereby a lot of parents are getting away with excesses. And we can see, I said we want to deceive ourselves. We can see the kind of society we have now. You see how children behave. You see how they talk. Sometimes you will see a young person that is supposed to have brain. You see the way they communicate. It says a lot about where we are coming from. Financially, they are at a disadvantage. Parents are not there. They are not present. Parents are going through frustration and venting on the children too. So please, if you have minor in your house, for parents that are still young, for parents with young children, okay, if you have children, and it doesn't matter if you're a single parent or married, parenting is not about whether I'm married or I'm not married. As long as you have children, you have decided to be responsible to somebody, and that somebody is your child or your children. You have to be mindful of what you do, of what you say, how you do in their presence, because everything is coming back to them and coming back to you. Okay, so we will continue next week. We have taken a lot of time, almost 2 hours. So thank you very much for joining. So join next week Saturday. Every Saturday now we will try and be doing parenting, and I will allow parents to come in. People will share their experiences. We will treat any problem that any parents have. You can just text it to me in my messenger. Your identity is protected, and say, auntie, can we talk on this? Okay, so we'll treat it. Somebody might learn from it, or you too, whatever question you need, something, whatever is going on that you think you are not handling well as a parent, or whether you are having challenges with your children, text it to me. We will treat it together. People who have that experience, that have overcome it, they will call in and talk to us. I will allow people to call in. I will allow people to contribute. We want to have a better environment, especially on this my page. I want us to be taking something positive into our lives and say, yes, I was able to learn this. I was able to understand this. Thank you very much, Oluboyede. Okay, thanks from the Oluboyede family. I think I'm following the page. So a lot of parents have had to share a lot with me, and this is one of the things that is motivating me to do this. People who live in Nigeria and relocated, people who have been abroad, and so many things, we are having children not because we don't love them. We love them, but we make mistakes, okay? And sometimes some of these mistakes are irreversible, and it affects the children for life. So gbogbo nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ la àfẹ́ ṣàṣedànù lórí ọmọ, àdẹ̀ní ṣàṣedànù lágbára Ọlọ́run. Okay, it could be a fake profile. That's Ilela profile. Mo tiẹ̀ máa check. I will check it when I'm done. I want to be sure. I will check it. Mo rántí orúkọ ẹ̀ tí n bá ṣe tán, I will check to be sure it's either fake or real. So thank you everyone. Next week Saturday, let us do it again. Thank you very much, Aproko with Spice. I know I can count on you anytime. My darling sister Catherine Caesar, thank you for your contribution on YouTube too. I can see you are a professional too. Omoti, thank you for the job you did on for being my admin on TikTok, for your contribution. There was somebody that was really contributing too. For every contributor on the show, thank you so much. Love you guys. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. So we go back to our Auntie Funke and Deeper Life tomorrow. I know you love that Aproko, so we'll do it tomorrow.